Bonsoir. Good evening. Kwee, like they'd say in Algonquins. Algonquins, and actually the Hurons would say that. I've been working on my Aboriginal stuff because this weekend I'm going. I'm just a little brush you a little picture of what I'm doing. But in Montreal, there's Jardin Botanique, the botanical garden. And they're having an assembly of all these elders from different First Nations in North America, South America, Mexico, and it's all sort of. He's deceased now, Chief William Commanda, who started something which was called the League of All Nations, or something like that, to get different people together, you know, not just the First Nations, but really all the nations to work together. And I think in today's society, we need it more than ever. So actually, the drum leader, je suis un porteur de tambour, so I've made a drum with a native elder, and I do native songs. And the person who was supposed to do the lead is going to be doing workshops in language, so I got picked to do the lead for the songs and the drumming. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's going to be fun, and there's quite a few. I think I got a dozen people with me, and so you guys are my warm-up. So yeah, that's why I thought I'd get that in there. Tonight, we're delving into the songs. I might slip away while you guys are writing to work on the song that we created together. I don't know if I'll get the music all down tonight. If I do like I usually do in schools, I usually make a few different versions and then get the students to pick the one they like the best. So usually it's a vote, and obviously les goûts ne sont pas discutables, so taste might be a little bit different. But we usually go with the majority. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll hit on something and I'll go, just this is it. But I doubt that. I kind of doubt, knowing myself, I don't think that's going to happen. As usual, so tonight the exercise is to start working on your song. And before you guys start, I'm going to go through, it's kind of a recap of all the stuff we did together, and be kind of a pep talk to get you guys off on the right foot. We're going to keep doing the analyzing song thing, just so we don't spend 2 hours writing. So I got a couple of songs. Norm, you're going to like one of these. When you said that, I went, oh my God. Anyway. I was looking for humorous songs, and there's a lot out there. And I tried to not take anything that was too risque, because after all, it's going on YouTube. And so I didn't want to, upset the folks at home. But I did end up picking a Frank Zappa song. I didn't go into his more risque material. I took something fairly tame, but he's not for all tastes, obviously. But he's amazing. He was, because he's deceased now. But he was an amazing musician and very prolific. When he died, he had 50 albums out, and he played like with all the best jazz musicians around. If you don't know jazz, or for those of you who do, Jaco Pastorius was like the bass player. Everybody who came after him were kind of molded after him. He was like an amazing, he played for a band called Weather Report. So if you like jazz, check out Weather Report. Amazing band. Anyway, so musicians like that, he played with them. And then I've got another song, and I picked this. Daniel Broom is the reason we're here. He's the director here. And sometimes he sends me stuff. Like I sent you guys a link to this Marie Gauthier If you didn't have a chance to check it out, check it out. It's worth it. He turns me on to stuff like that. Z Frank, I would have never found that without Daniel's input. He knows a lot about music, and he sends me stuff. And when I was looking for funny songs, I said, well, hey, do you know any funny songs? And he says, yeah. And so I've got the Pheasant Plucker's Son, which is also known as the Pheasant Plucker's Song. And it's a kind of play on words. It's fairly tame in today's world, but, and this is Dan's story. He brought it into class in grade 7. The kids, like his friends, just loved it. The teacher, not so much. He spent 2 weeks in detention after that because it plays on sounds. When you hear it, you'll know why. Because when I looked at the text, I figured, why this? But when you hear it sung, then you go, oh, okay.
2 weeks in detention.
Pardon?
2 weeks in detention.
Well, detention after you have to stay after school. Yeah, you have to stay after school for 2 weeks after that song, after that episode. And if we get to it, I've got another song that's called Y'a rien là de Maurice Paquin. He's a French comedian songwriter. Was. He actually came to La Fontaine in the Pavilion. So, and I'll do that one if we've got time. If not, some of the songs. Make sure you bring the songs that we haven't seen yet. Like I gave you one that's called Petit Prince. Bring that. I've also got some photocopies of another one, and this one, if we don't get to it, because I'll use them in the last couple of weeks as the analyze songs type of thing. So I'm trying to give you as much of a variety of different types of songs. There's others, obviously. There's lots of others. But I figured, we did the love songs, the protest songs. These are comedy songs. So, and it gives you a little bit more for inspiration. So, did you put the pheasant plucker song first? Okay, we'll start with that one. Before we go any further, does anybody have any questions, comments, or suggestions? No? Okay, so we'll move on. There's no video to these two because, one's from the Irish Rovers. It's their version of it, but it's an old. I looked it up, and this isn't really the pheasant song. Is an old, I think it's English, British folk song. And there's different versions of it. So this is really the Irish Rovers version. We'll go with that one first. And then we'll do the dancing fool thing. So, yeah, and do I introduce it, or we just go with it?
Let me introduce it, and then I'll go with it.
Okay. Tell me. Right?
No.
So this is the Pheasant Plucker's Son by the Irish Rovers. So, yeah, it doesn't sound like a pheasant. That sounds more like a chicken. And actually, it's weird. I was gone biking in the back trails once, and I ran into a pheasant. Well, I ran into it. I kind of stopped, and all of a sudden this pheasant started coming towards me. And I'm going, ooh, what's going on? And it was kind of tamed, and it had a sound, but it wasn't that. It wasn't that. Anyway. pheasant plucker. He's
Setting us up.
ouais, un éplumeur. Voilà. Yeah. He's a pheasant plucker's son. So his dad's the pheasant plucker. But can you see why Daniel was held over for because if it's when you listen to it, it could sound, yeah, it could sound a little bit more.
Is it never said something?
The,
Ah, okay.
yeah, it sounds like the F word. When you listen, after a while, it's almost, you can almost hear that.
I guess it's like a woman in the slang. Is it that?
No, but actually in the original version, it's a wife talking about her husband. In their version, it's a son talking about his dad. So so there. Any more comments? It does have that kind of a, English, old traditional side of it. Yeah, you could say that. But if you listen to the cadence of the words, it just, the pheasant pluck, that chorus, it just falls right on the beat. The way that it's like the cadence, the way the words come down on the beat and the melody. There's not much of a melody, but it's there. It's more about the beat, though. Anyway, I thought it was funny when I first heard it. I go, and then I started thinking, he got 2 weeks for that? In today's schools, I don't think a teacher would ever suspend a student for something like this. But then again, you never know. You never know. So off we go. Well, we might as well go into the second one, unless there's other comments or... We're good?
I think, like you said, the chorus is like irresistible.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a machine. You cannot help but...
That's it. Goes like this. And the Irish Rovers, they actually had a TV show for a while. There were 5 or 6 guys in the band, all a bunch of Irish guys. And I don't think I ever heard this song on there, but...
I have them here on this stage.
Oh, really? Oh, God.
They wouldn't have done that song on the 60-70 TV show they were performing in Toronto Live. They wouldn't have played that one.
Yeah, I had them here several years ago.
Yeah. Their big hit was the one about the unicorn.
Yeah.
There was a unicorn song.
Camels in
But
the-
you're never gonna see a unicorn. There were green alligators and long... Il y a une version française de ça. There were green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, as sure as you're born. You're never gonna see a unicorn. I'm not brainwashed by TV at all. Well, that was like their theme song. But the other day I was, again, listening, and I heard a French version of that. I went, hey man, that's the unicorn song. It was different though. Obviously the words wasn't exactly the same thing, but anyway. So on to Frank Zappa. Like I said, if you want to discover this guy, there's a lot of weird songs, man.
My hero.
Yeah, he one song's about going to Montana to start a dental floss farm.
Would it be a dental floss?
Yeah. I never knew that dental floss came from a farm, but obviously it must. So this is called Dancing Fool. And for those of you who might be a little younger, actually you probably wouldn't know this either. You ever hear of disco? Disco music. It's what today's dance music was, or the techno music. Well, back then, he sort of laughs at disco with this song. So here we go. And again, there's no video back then. They didn't. I think there might be images of him, but that's it.
So I won't bother with
So that's Frank Zappa, Dancing Fool. And remember I said rules are made to be broken? He broke just about every rule you can possibly break in songwriting, not just with this song, but a lot of songs. But it's creative, it's well done, it's smart. And you know, I may be totally wrong, but he's running after the beat. Like, you know, it's just, but he makes it work. That's the difference. He does make it work. It's crazy. They must have had a lot of fun in the studio doing stuff like this. Like I can't, and I don't know how they could keep a straight face, and you know, and do this. But
He was actually quite a tyrant.
yeah,
Strict.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, he didn't mess around, no drugs, no.
Oh no, but he was totally straight. Yeah, this guy was totally straight. No, he smoked a lot of cigarettes.
Yeah.
I think that's what ended up killing him. I think, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Anyway, but he was totally straight, and like you say, he was very strict. But I'm sure somewhere along the line, when you're doing a song like this in the studio, some guys must be having a little bit of fun because, you know, and the girl, do you hear the girl's voice? It reminded me a little bit of, you guys know the Peanuts, Charlie Brown. The adults always talk with this little voice that you never hear. So it's kind of, anyway. Comments?
Call it immortal.
No, but, and hip, it depends who you are, because he had a cult following, a big cult following. A lot of people, like, and a lot of musicians would listen to him. And I remember a friend of mine, we'd go to his place on Sunday nights, because there was this show on Q107. Q107's a radio station from Toronto. And they had this show called Dr. Demento, Demento being demented. And it was just off the wall stuff, really nuts. And he'd play stuff like this, like not just Frank Zappa, all kinds of stuff. And it was really, anyway, it's not, yeah.
I used to listen to it every Sunday night.
There we go. So you certainly heard Frank Zappa on there.
You know that they edited this song down and took all of the controversial stuff out and just left the disco crap on, and he made a fortune off of that.
Oh, really?
Off of the song, and they took out the last part where he's actually deliberately poking fun at the disco crowd.
Oh, yeah.
And just left the dancing fool part in, and he made
Oh, really?
millions, yeah.
And if you,
Which was against the whole motive of writing the song.
yeah, yeah, and you'd think you wouldn't have let that happen, but you want to make money somewhere. The other thing I noticed too, if you notice, he takes character voices. In some spots he sings one way, and then in another spot he sings another way, like he's changing characters as the song moves along. Yeah.
The part that my shirt's half open, just to show you my
Chain and-
the golden chain that
yeah.
I used to have.
And-
It's good for my nose, I guess it's cocaine.
Well, back in the disco days, and there was a disco in Penetangwisheen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was called the Pass. I was not a disco person at all, but some of my buddies would drag me in there sometimes, and I was really not. It's just like, no, this isn't working.
This is his, to show how long he lasted before he passed. He figures prominently in the documentary about Laurel Canyon, where all of the Stephen Stills, anybody that was at the beginning of the kind of hippie music era,
Right.
they used to all go over to Frank Zappa's house, mostly because he had a swimming pool, but he lived in Laurel Canyon in the 60s, and he was a huge influence to them all back then.
Really?
Yeah, he taught Peter Tork how to play guitar.
Yeah,
the
he did.
Monkees.
Oh my God! Hey, that's
It's a
great.
fascinating documentary. I highly recommend it. It's really outstanding.
Uh,
The cast was there.
It's a documentary.
Yeah, it's just called Laurel Canyon, L-A-U-R-E-L.
Laurel
U-R-E-L.
Laurel Canyon.
There's actually two parallel documentaries on it. Neil Young figures prominently, David Crosby, you name it. The Birds.
Really?
Yeah, Mamas of the Papas.
So that whole movement.
The whole movement. They all lived within a couple of block area of the hills just north of Hollywood.
Yeah, and now that you say that, thinking of the world the way it was then and how it is now, I think we need that. I think we need that from young people, young creators, and not just young. I'm not that young, but I think I try to do the protest song thing. I think it needs to be said because we're living in a dangerous world, and artists are supposed to be the spokesman for the regular Joe who can't or doesn't have any interest in writing songs, like painters, you know, like artists have always been through society, not just spokesman, but I'm not sure of the word I'm looking for, but
See, you're politically incorrect there. Spokespeople.
spokespeople. Well, yeah, spokesperson. But I mean, you know, we're supposed to be a reflection of our times, and I think we need to. And you can say what you want about rap. Some of them are, especially when I listen to the French and native rappers. They really. It's not just about, you know, drugs and alcohol and swearing, and some of these guys really have powerful messages. Samian is one of them. Samian is a native rapper, and he's got some powerful material. Really, really, you know, it hits home, and I think we need that more and more. I'm not saying everybody write a protest song here, but if you ever, you know, we'll get into that soon. Actually, how much time have we got? We've got about 20. Yeah. Okay. So it's 22. I'll do that the French song because we got a bit of time. So we'll get through Y'a Rien Là, and then I'll explain it for those of you who. And this was written back in the 80s. Back in the 80s. In today's society, especially after COVID, this thing almost doesn't exist anymore. But anyway, yeah, I'll put the capo on. Just kind of follow along if you can. If you can't, I'm going to explain everything after. So. Serveuse topless, spectacle de danseuses nues. La grosse business, y'en a sur tous les points de rue. Boutique de sexe et salon de massage. Ils prennent charge ex pis des chèques de chômage. Y'a rien là. Y'a rien là, y'a pas de problème. Y'a rien là, y'a rien là, c'est de même qu'on s'aime. Y'a rien là, y'a rien là, y'a pas de problème. Y'a rien là, y'a rien là, c'est de même qu'on s'aime. Les films de fesses sont rendus à TV, plus rien qui reste, y'a rien qu'ils ont pas montré, jusqu'à Gazette, qu'il n'y a plus de moralité. Hey, hey. Y'a de l'amour à vendre, jusqu'à dans les annonces classées. Y'a rien là, y'a rien là, y'a pas de problème. Y'a rien là, y'a rien là, c'est de même qu'on s'aime. Y'a rien là, y'a rien là, y'a pas de problème. Y'a rien là, y a rien là, c'est de même qu'on s'aime. Les gens mariés se sont tous divorcés. Les religieuses et les frères sont défroqués. Les hommes aux hommes et les femmes sont libérées. Sais-tu que si t'aimes pas ton sexe, bien tu peux te faire opérer. Y a rien là, y a rien là, y a pas de problème. Y a rien là, y a rien là, c'est de même qu'on s'aime. Y a ben là, y a ben là, y a pas de problème. Y a rien là, y a rien là, c'est de même qu'on s'aime. Oui, y a rien là, y a rien là, c'est de même qu'on s'aime. Oh God! And I just thought of something. So sorry, Nadine. I didn't send you the words, did I? Ah, I've just been rushing around all day, and it just slipped my mind. I sent it over to Michel. I sent the links, and I'll do better next week. I'll do better next week. I'm going to write it down here. Parole. Ouais. Mais au moins, t'as envoyé les noms, les titres des chansons. Okay, so little explanation of this song. Like I said, this was written back in the 80s. Most of this stuff doesn't really exist anymore since COVID. But serveuse topless or service topless, you know what a topless is, a bar. And then spectacle de danseuses nues. What is it? Voyons. Strip joints, yeah. There was. There's almost none left. One of the most famous ones was the Zanzibar in Toronto, and that closed too. And that's another place. Anyway, I didn't like to go there, but your buddies start dragging you in, and no, we're not going. Anyway, so la grosse business, big business, il y en a sur tous les coins de rue. So on every street corner. That still exists. Boutique de sexe, salon de massage, so massage parlors, and you know those, what do they call them, adult stores? Yeah, where they sell toys. Ils prennent charge X, they charge X, puis des chèques. Hey?
Why do you look embarrassed?
Do I?
2022 for God's sake.
Anyway, that's the way I look when I go into a strip joint. I just wanted to crawl under a table. But anyway, ils prennent charge X, puis des chèques de chômage. Des chèques de chômage. Welfare checks. Welfare or yeah, unemployment checks. That more precisely, yeah, unemployment. And then y a rien là. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Y a pas de problème. There's no problem. Y a rien là. There's no, you know, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. That's the way c'est même qu'on s'aime. That's the way we love each other. But you have to watch in French. S'aime, aimer can be like or love. It can be one or the other. Okay. So that's the chorus, and he keeps coming back to it. And he was an amazing. He'd show up on stage, played a bit of guitar, but he was a harmonica player. So he'd show up on stage with a bag full of harmonicas, and all these harmonicas strapped around him, and he'd just blow them. He was an insane harmonica player. Okay, second verse. Les films de fesses sont rendus à TV. Dirty movies are on TV. Plus rien qui reste, il n'y a rien qu'on n'a pas montré. So there's nothing left. There isn't nothing that they haven't shown on TV and elsewhere now. Jusqu'à Gazette, qui a plus de moralité. Gazette is a newspaper. There's no morality. Il y a de l'amour à vendre. So there's love for sale. Jusqu'à dans les annonces classées in the classified section. Okay? Then it comes back to the chorus. Say there's no problem. Last one, and he gets a little bit even more. Anyway, les gens mariés se sont tous divorcés. So all the married people have divorced. And back in the 80s, not the 70s it kind of started, but in the 80s there started to be more and more, divorces. Les religieuses et les frères sont défroqués. The nuns have all abandoned the nunnery, the religion.
I think you can say frocks, right?
Can you say that? Des frocks? Yeah, and the priests they just abandoned. They're frock. They've abandoned religion. And les hommes aux hommes, so men are with men, and les femmes sont libérées, women are liberated. And then, sais-tu que si tu t'aimes pas ton sexe, if you don't like your sex, tu peux te faire opérer. You can get a surgery. And then he goes back to y'a rien là. It's very tongue in cheek, but that's even more risky. I didn't realize that I'm singing it. I'm going, this is worse than Frank Zappa.
Is it a condemnation of the way the morals of society
Yeah,
were
that's right.
presenting?
Yeah, that's what it is. He's making a social statement about the morals of society back in the 80s, and some of this is still as true today as it was back then. Not all of it, because some of it has disappeared. But that's a good point. It was a social statement.
And the y'a rien là, it's like, oh, don't worry. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's right. Y'a pas de problème. It's not a big deal, but it is a big deal, in a certain sense. When you think about it. And then coming to today's society where are the values? Like a guy, here I'm going again, a guy like Donald Trump can get away with lying to people, and people accept that. There's something wrong there. There's no values, obviously, because why would we let somebody openly lie to us, and we know he's lying to us, but we still like him? Wow, there's that too.
Come on.
Well,
This is beyond
yeah,
this.
but that's just one thing.
Couldn't do this in the 80s.
But that's one thing among all the other things that he said. In that case, he wasn't lying, and that's even more troubling. When you think about it.
And they love it.
Yeah, it's just it's.
Popularity went up after saying that. His
Part-
numbers actually climbed after that video was revealed,
Access video.
which I think speaks
There's-
volumes of.
There's something deeply warped with a world that accepts that. It's just, it gets me because I thought humans were better than that. We're supposed to be better than that. What's going on? But you know what they say? The wave goes all the way to one way before it starts to come back. But people have to pull it back. That's why I'm going to Montreal on a mission, like the Blues Brothers would say, on a mission from God. Because I really believe it, that if enough people start to want change, positive change, there's a way of doing it. And not by being preachy and not by violence and none of that. There's ways of doing it subtly and teaching young people that this just isn't right.
Yet you sound like a Sermon on the Mount right
A sermon of,
now. Sermon on the Mount.
who's that?
Delivering the sermon from
You're
the Mount.
delivering
Oh,
a sermon on
yeah, well, maybe, but whatever. Yeah, I haven't got the little white collar, but anyway.
I think that one of the worst things of today is on the social media, there's, the algorithm that when you like something, you got all that you like, and you don't see the other side of the middle. So the people are very at the right, they see very at the right, and the people very at the left. So people are going like that, and I guess it's going to be worse and worse because you think that what you see is because more and more of young people, they only on social media. Another an example of that. And all that you see, you think, oh, all the universe is like me, and it's just normal. So it legitimates what you think. It's the worst thing.
Yeah, and the negative always comes to the root, to the top. Not just in social media. Think of news. How much good news is on the news? You know, when you think about it, you watch the news and you go, wow, man. Once in a while they come up with a feel-good story. Hey, there's this one here, but there's all this, and that sells. That's the whole principle behind it. They say that's what sells papers. Back in the day when papers were when people bought actual physical paper, newspaper. What's that?
If it bleeds, it leads. If there's blood or violence, it's the lead
If it
story.
bleeds, it leads.
Front page
Oh
of the
my
paper.
God.
There's a song there.
Oh, it's an old saying, yeah, it's been around for decades.
But is it in a song?
Perhaps, I don't know.
I'm going to look it up.
Not already, it will be by tomorrow.
I like your attitude.
It's like Don Henley, you know.
Dirty laundry.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You bet.
Guys in the newsroom have a running bet, you know. Is the head dead yet?
I-
You get the widow on the set.
Do you guys know that song? Look up Don Henley, Dirty Laundry. That's exactly it. That song, and it's got a nice. He's got a good voice. First of all, he's one of the Eagles, one of the members of the Eagles. It's got a driving beat. It's got a really good hook, and it tells the truth. It's in your face, and it's a protest song, but it's a rock tune, like pop rock, but still. Kick him when they're up, kick him when they're down. Kick him when they're up, kick him when they're down. Yeah, well, listen to look at the lyrics. What I usually do, especially with songs that I don't know, is I'll pull up the lyrics. Like I'll watch a video first and, you know, see if it has any semblance of what's going on in the word. First I watch the words, then I watch the video to see if it fits with what's in the video. Most of the time it doesn't. They do storyboards and they get these big producers and they make up anything. But sometimes they do a really good job. Like, remember that video we watched of that really heavy song there, the Cranberries?
You wrote this song for Ireland.
What was the name of the song?
Zombie. Zombie.
Yeah, Zombie.
Yeah.
That one, the video was it just went with the words. It really did. I'm going to bring something really, next week I'm going to bring something really cool. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Yeah, because the 22nd is next week. We're filming for the La Saint-Jean. On the 29th, okay, we're going to be in the other room. Thanks for reminding me. You would have showed up next. Don't show up next Wednesday. It's the Wednesday after. We have 2 more Wednesdays. And actually, it'll give you, you know what, for you, it's going to be perfect because it'll give you time to get, I'll get your name and you got an email? Yeah. And so you'll have time to look at some of the videos and it'll help you with your songwriting. So yeah, we're going to be in the Huronia, which I kind of don't mind. I really like that hall. It's got a really good acoustics. I went in there right away and started singing. Oh, geez, this sounds cool. But it's only for theater. Darn. Okay, before you start into your writing, and you can take notes, but please, I want active hearing for this, because this is sort of your pep talk before you get going. After this, you're on your own. So for starting, don't forget, brainstorm some themes. Not any themes, okay? If you think that'll help, then brainstorm any themes. But try to pick themes that mean something to you. You know, that might elicit emotion, because that's what makes a good song. When you listen to that Marie Gauthier, I think she's an American. I don't think she's Quebec. I didn't hear a French accent when I listened to it. But she really hits the nail on the head about that. Really trying to find an emotion because sad songs can be happy too. That's what it's all about. That's what her monologue is about. Then pick one, okay? Pick one you think that out of the one, don't fill a page unless you want to. That's possible, but maybe 5 or 6 or 7, and then pick one, and then go with it. Brainstorm ideas. Get some stuff on the paper. Don't stand there with a white sheet. This is the white page syndrome. That'll block you right away. What am I going to write? First thing you do is brainstorm some themes. Then you've got something there. Then you go, boom. You pick your one theme and you put it on another page. And then you just go with it. Anything that comes to mind, ideas, images, rhymes, anything that comes to mind when you look at that theme. Sometimes you'll pick stuff that's going to be either something you lived, something somebody else lived that you feel really strongly about, So that'll help. If you get blocked there, okay, you pick the theme, you start writing, and you block. Mike? And you block, okay? Grab another theme.
But we've already written at least 4 or 5 songs each.
Yeah, I know, but that was like, those were all practice for, okay? This was all practice for. You can, like, Norm and Randy and I think you sent me. I haven't had time to look at them, but I'm going to look at them. And if you guys decide at the end that's the song you want to go with, like one of the ones you've already written, I'm cool with that. But we've still got a few weeks. Why not keep going? Push this a little further, okay?
So this is not a continuation of last week's project?
No, this.
That's the one you're going to put the music in?
Yeah, this one I'm going to put music to, okay? That was our collective song.
That's what you're asking us to do tonight too, is it not?
No, this song here, this is totally you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this whole express yourself thing, this is where we were coming to. This is where it starts, okay? This is where it really starts. The rest of it was exercises to just warm you up. Okay, but like I said, Norm, after you've gone, like write another one or write 2 more, and then pick one. And like I said, some of you are musicians. You might want to put your own music on it, and you might want to perform it because I should maybe specify for your benefit. At the end of August, we're going to do a concert here with the songs that you guys have written. So in some cases, some of you are musicians, you'll put your own music to it, if you want to. If not, myself and his brother, Louis Lefebvre, are going to work on the music for. Some of you might choose to just have a poem. I'm good with that too. It can be slam, it can be like slam, it's spoken word. I'm good with that. This is wide open, man. I don't want to pigeonhole anybody here. I want you really to no boundaries, okay? No boundaries when you're doing. Okay, let's say we're up to that spot. You didn't freeze. You've got a theme that's really working. Work it. I worked some songs 10, 20 pages before I even come back and start picking out lines, okay? And then boom, boom, boom. But I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm a little bit of a maniac when it comes to that stuff like that. Okay, then after you've got something, start thinking of the type of song you want. Like remember there's storytelling, okay? What type of song do you want? Did you want a verse, chorus, the form? Remember? Verse, chorus, do you want verse, chorus, bridge? That's what we did. Okay, remember the collective song? There's verse, chorus, bridge in here. So there's the 3 sections. Solos, well, that's when the musicians come in. If you do a storytelling song, let's say you decide to pick, you you were in a multiple vehicle accident on the 401, okay? Or you came upon one. Go back and research some of the stuff. It might give you ideas, okay? To be able to help you write the, I'm sure that's what Lightfoot did when he did Edmund Fitzgerald. He did his homework to find out what it was, and then he put it into it. Then he put it into a story. That's for the storytelling songs, for research. So the verse chorus idea, you'll have to decide. It can be just verses, don't forget that. But if it is, make sure you put a line there. Remember Yarmouth Castle? When I was doing the storytelling songs, or Edmund Fitzgerald, the title comes back a few times in the song. So that helps to just bring people back to, oh, okay, right, the Edmund Fitzgerald, yeah. So that's what it's about. Use your emotions. I can't stress that enough, okay? To express yourself, you really gotta dig deep and go and find some emotion with whatever subject you take. Remember we talked about keep it personal, but if you can find the universal aspect, don't get stuck on that though. Don't get stuck on that. Make it personal. I'd rather it be personal and have absolutely nothing to do with the outside world, because at least you'll have something strong there. When you get stuck, that, remember I said switch? Not just that. Do something that inspires you. Garden, go for a walk, take a bike ride. Do whatever it takes to get that. Because often, yeah, to get the creative juices going. Because sometimes that's what I do. You put it aside, you go for a walk. For me, it's walk, bike, even vehicles. I'm very creative when I'm on the road. For some reason, motion brings me ideas. So do what works for you. Everybody will find. You might have to experiment a little bit. If you have to pound nails, do that. Okay?
Zanzibar, and then I had to go to confession.
Well, then you're working on a comedy song. Okay? Then you're working on a comedy song. And don't forget, inspiration is all around you. In some of the littlest things sometimes. You'll see something happening on the street. A conversation going on. A mother scolding her kid. Sometimes little things like that will ignite. You'll think, oh, my song. And bring a good idea is always have a pen and pad with you. Like, especially when you're working on this, if you go for a walk, you're going for a walk, you got this great idea, you get back home, you forget the idea. Don't want to do that? Make sure you've got something to write it. Your goal is not to write a hit, okay? Your goal is to express yourself. So don't try to, I want to write a hit. Remember the story I told you about the hit writing? You can get really discouraged trying to do that. Don't compare yourself to somebody else. Only you can be yourself, okay? It can be past, present, or future, remember? That's what I mean by boundaries. Don't set any boundaries. If it's something from your past, go with it. If it's something from right now, go with it. If it's something you want to invent, go with that. So about an experience, storytelling, like I said, go with something that inspires you. Don't forget to go with something that inspires you. And the rhymes aren't essential, but they kind of help to give it a little bit of musicality at the end of it. But it's not essential. The main thing is that it makes sense. And look at Dancing Fool. That's as crazy as you get. But it makes sense. You know, when you can read that and you'll get something out of it. That's what I mean by making sense. You can take something really wild like a trip to the moon or Mars and make it make sense. Just make it make sense. And cadence. For me, especially if you want myself and Louis to do the music for it, try and have some kind of a cadence like we did. We really did good with this, by the way. Congratulations to everybody, because there's cadence in this. It's going to be easy for me to work with.
I was going to work with the royalties.
That's a very good question. All our names are going on it, that's for sure. All our names are going on it. I don't know, like I said, I'm not in it for the hit, but if we'll see what happens. But if there is royalties, you have to be a member of SOCAN if you want to get the royalties. Yeah, so well, that's about it. Do you have any questions, concerns, comments?
All those advice, it's for the definitive song that we're gonna send you. But right now, do we write this song or do we write a funny song?
No. The analyzing was just to give you an idea of different types of songs. No, but you can. Okay, yeah, I know you can. The idea now is to write what you want us to put. Let's say you want us to put music to it for that concert in August, okay? That's the song you're working on. Yeah, so you still got 2 weeks. Like you, I don't think you have to have this done tonight there. Whoa, don't forget, there's a process that I just went through here, okay? Go through the process. Whatever time it takes, it'll take. Next week we have off. Some of you might want to work on it. You can work on it on your own time. The week after, we'll be coming back. If you're not there, that's what it's for. That's why these last weeks are going to be to work that song. And if you need help, or you need suggestions, that's what I'm here for, okay? I'm not an expert. Don't go there, okay? But I've got experience, and I like to analyze songs, and I think I've gotten pretty good at it over the years, especially writing so many songs with schools. I don't know how many hundreds of songs I've written with classrooms. Like we'd almost always write a song, and I've written from grade 4 to grade 12, and now I've done a few more other adult sessions as well, but so and if you're stuck, come and see me. I'll try and help you out.
To your house. To your house.
You've got my email, and I'll give you that too. We'll exchange emails. You have my email. If you have a question, I might not be able to get back to you right away. Like this weekend, I'm going to be gone, but I'll get back to you for sure. I always answer my emails. I check them. I don't check them when I'm on the road because I have a hard time with my cell phone, and I don't usually bring my computer with me. And it's once in a while I need to get away from the technology. Like I have the phone, but that's just in case I have to phone 911 or something. Or when I'm out of town, because I'm on the fire department, this thing goes off and it texts me to tell me, oh, there was a fire alarm sounding, activated or whatever. Anyway, are we good?
We're good.
Okay. So and don't get frustrated. Just have fun. Have fun with this.
You need to be in Montreal.
I was looking for the.
So the good news is I got something started. I'm going to have to keep working at it a little bit, but it's actually the first time I actually started a song on the piano. I'm not really a piano player, but I started fiddling around on the piano up there and it started a melody. So I've got something for the chorus, for the verse, and the chorus is I'm working on. Actually, I'm adding a little bit to it to make it work. But anyway, hopefully I'll have something for you in the next class. If in 2 weeks, so that'll be even better because then maybe I'll add a few things. Before we go, and we're going to finish with a song because it seems to be the thing to do these days. We've always finished with a song, and actually I'm going to go for your positive energy on this one to help me out with the next song. But before that, So how's it going? Like you're just starting into it, but you're clapping.
I told you before, it's the best 2 hours of my week.
Oh, okay.
I don't want it to end.
Yeah, well,
Can I sign up for the next one?
who knows? I know that Dan, his goal with this was really, because this program's called Community Arts Engage. And he really wants to get the community involved in the MCC. So it's, I don't know where this is. He's got good ideas, and who knows? Who knows where this is? I know that it's going to lead to a concert at the end of August, and I'm going to have some music to write, but...
So when you say a concert at the end of August, like, is it like one of their open mic kind of
No,
sessions,
God, no.
or-
This is going to be your show. No, I'm saying that in a very large sense, in the sense that I don't think we need to film. It's probably filming anyway. Whoops. I guess I should have the microphone on, because this thing's going and the mic's way back there. So,
You need a microphone.
could you hear me?
Well, I don't know how well it'll come through in the video.
I'm sorry. I just got carried away. Uh-oh, I think I broke the clip. Or at least I dislodged it. So I'll put it in my pocket instead. How's that? You know us musicians, technical stuff isn't my strong point. So anyway, yeah, so Dan's whole idea was with Community Arts Engage is to get people involved and to get artists involved with the community. So that's how it led to this. And no, the idea is at the end of August, I think there's going to be 2 representations. One would be more for your families and stuff. And that's where your creation, whatever it may be, whether you put music on it or get us to put the music on it, or we do it as a poem, or you do it yourself on the stage, that is totally, like right now, it's wide open. We've got a week off next week. You can work on it. Then we've got 2 more weeks. Then after that, even if you're not done, that's not, it's not the end of the world there. The world isn't going to stop. Actually, I prefer, especially for the ones that we're going to be working on the music with Louis, I prefer them to kind of come in one and then another one and maybe 2 other ones. So one performance, like I said, would probably be for the families and stuff, and one would be open to the public. And at the end of August, we don't have a date nailed down yet, but and don't let that put pressure on you. Don't forget, the whole idea behind this is express yourself. So don't think about that. I'm trying. I didn't even want to mention it, but I have to tell you where we're going with this. So, so don't let it stress you out. Just have fun doing what you're doing. And like I said, if you get blocked, try something else, and maybe come back to it. Or you got to be willing to be flexible. You got and adapt, kind of as you go. And once you have something, run it by me, and I'll give you pointers. And the pointers I give you, don't forget, I'm not an expert. So the pointers I give you will be suggestions. You can choose to take them or not. Or you can choose to rework it and find something that might suit it better. I may just give you okay, this line here, I'd rework that. I might just give you that. Or if I have an idea, I might give you an idea as to which way you might want to take it. And if you're halfway through and you're kind of, I don't know what to do with this, but I really want to keep this going, come and see me or send it to me, and I'll give you some ideas. That's what I'm here for.
The song Ages, there's a line.
Go ahead.
There's a line, the moment you need is on your shoulder. And McCartney, when he presented the song to Lennon, he said, I'm gonna rework that. It's a bit lazy. And Lennon said, no, it's the best line of the song, and he keep it like that. Sometimes the best advice is to say, to give confidence in your life.
That's right. Yeah, sometimes the best advice is no advice at all. Yeah.
The best part for me is the privilege of having met these people.
Yeah, no, I think we have a really cool group here. It's,
Pure privilege
yeah, it's,
of having the luxury of meeting people.
yeah, no, and coming out of COVID, that couldn't be better said, because we're coming out of a rough time, and yeah, it's nice to, everybody has their character. That's what I want you to go and get in your song or your poem, is go get that you inside you and bring it onto the page. That's what you want.
Just a quick follow-up on that. I always say the greatest pleasure in life is determined by the people you are lucky enough to meet.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that says it all.
Yeah, you bet.
If you meet interesting and beautiful people,
Yeah.
you will enjoy life to the fullest.
Yeah.
That's how I look at things.
It's funny you say that, because I've met some people who really influenced me over the years, and Grandfather Dominic is definitely a big influence on me these days. But there were others all the way along, musicians, people that you meet, and sometimes they inspire songs. That's always a good thing. So we're going to finish with Nisa. Remember, we started, not like we're ending but we'll end the class. Remember I showed you this song, and it goes, Nisa, 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 Gaiweo, Gaiweo. So you remember that? Everybody? Okay, so we do it 4 times. At the last one, we go, Gaiweo, 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 and we bring it up. Okay? Everybody sing. Everybody sing. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nisa, Nisa, Nisa. Nisa, Nisa, Nisa. Nisa, Nisa, Nisa. Gaiweo, Gaiweo. Nisa, Nisa, Nisa. Nisa, Nisa, Nisa. Nisa, Nisa, Nisa. Gaiweo, Gaiweo. Nisa, Nisa, Nisa. Nisa, Nisa, Nisa. Nisa, Nisa, Nisa. Gaiweo, Gaiweo. Nisa, Nisa, Nisa. Nisa, Nisa, Nisa. Nisa, Nisa, Nisa. Gaiweo, Gaiweo, Gaiweo. And on that note, merci beaucoup. Thank you. Have fun. Keep working on it. We'll see you in 2 weeks in the other hall. So, no, there's nothing next week, because I've got something on the Wednesday night, and then we're going to be in the other hall, and then we're finishing off with it, because the 29th, and then we're finishing on the 6th of, I think it's the 6th of July. The first Wednesday in July will be our last
I
one.
remember, got a concert coming up, never cheese off the sound. No.
Yeah, don't piss off the sound guy.
You want your face in the center of our t-shirt.
Have a good weekend. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
I think we're gonna sound like